So someone put in our comments the other day, hey, I'm 46. I want to get out of the U.S. ASAP. Where should I go?
No, that that doesn't sound like someone who's ready to leave the U.S. or their home country.
Nope.
Oh, well, wait a minute. But what about, that doesn't sound like, how about, where is the best place for a person on Social Security to go live?
How much Social Security?
Yeah.
1,200, 1,800, 2,700, 3,000. Like how much Social Security? Oh no! Look, we moved to Lisbon, Portugal, almost 3 years ago now, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and we got permanent residency in Mexico also.
At the same time, look, it was tedious, it was taxing, but it was a straightforward process. You know, the thing is, some folks are just going to talk until the cows come home. And at the end of the day, they're never, ever, ever
going to make the move.
Going to make that move. Exactly. So we're going to talk about that and a lot more. But first, we're going to introduce ourselves. Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money. We talk about travel and retiring abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early.
Early's good.
Early is good.
Yeah, you said that a long time.
And so, sweetie, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about, should I stay or leave the United States?
Okay. All right.
First, we will list the 5 signs you probably are one of those people who should stay, or, you know, in your home country, if you should stay.
Right. 5 signs that you ain't the one. You ain't the one, right? You are not the one who should be leaving their home country. And you want to stick around until the end, because then we're going to give you 5 signs that let you know you are good to go. But first, if you're new to our channel, then you might not know. Back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We were getting close to retirement age, looked at our money, and it looked crazy.
Crazy.
But we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. And if we can do it, you can do it too.
You can do it too.
So if any of that sounds interesting to you, hit that like as you're coming in, right? Hit that like button, subscribe. We know 50% of the folks who watch our videos are not subscribed. So subscribe and hit that notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video.
And hey, you know, who's coming to our meetup in June?
Oh, that's right.
Let us know. Put it in the chat.
Yes. And if you're watching from the future, hey. I hope the future is great. Put in the comments if you're coming to our June meetup. It's
going to be June 16th and 17th here in Lisbon.
You can get all of the information or purchase a ticket. There is a link in the description below. It's going to give you the agenda, the cost, as well as some other events that are going to be going on, not hosted by us, but that we, will travel with you to or whatever around the city. Juneteenth, we got the St. Anthony's Day parade and street festivals. We got Pride coming up. All of that stuff is happening right around our meetup. And if you're coming for our Rich Journey meetup, come a few days early and come to ours too. So,
go.
All right. So we are going to talk about the 5 signs you should probably stay. If you got these 5 signs, if you answer yes to, and you shaking your head like, right? You probably are not the one to move out of your home country.
You ain't ready to make that move.
You ain't ready to make that move, right? All right. Number 1.
You are closed-minded and not adventurous. Okay. You know folks who won't consider doing things different.
That's right. Like them, yeah, but folks.
Yeah, but.
Right? Like we hear this, we read it in the comments. We've even had some clients. It's like, it does not matter how many suggestions that we give to try and solve their solutions. And they got, right? And it, the sad part about it is it's like you're asking for help, but you have 1,000 reasons why our solutions or our suggestions won't work for you. They may work for somebody else, but they ain't gonna work for you.
And we know people like that.
We know people like that. Yeah. Look, look, if you want things to be like they always are, you need to just stay home, right? I know that it's crazy in the United States right now, but it takes a certain type of person to be able to leave their home country, especially if it's not an English speaking country, right?
Yes.
So yeah, but people. So you also number two. So number one was you're closed minded and not adventurous, right? You don't want to do things differently. Number two, you have no source of income if you leave your home country and no way to figure that out.
Yeah, and you haven't planned financially or for emergencies.
Right. So some of you may know, especially those who are in our Beyond the Bling or who are in our side hustle challenge that's going on right now, that I have a family emergency and I have to fly back. I figured out on Friday I needed to get back to Los Angeles ASAP. And so here we go. This was an unplanned expense. And last minute plane tickets are not cheap. So are you planning? Have you planned and do you plan and have that emergency fund for unexpected events? That's going to be so, so important. And if you're not that kind of person, if you find it hard to save, you probably need to stay your butt at home. I'm sorry, but you probably need to stay your butt at home. Y'all know the deal. Put a Q in front of your question or comment that you would like us to read. So you haven't planned financially for emergencies. You don't have an emergency fund in general, right? You don't have an emergency fund in general. You haven't planned financially for the move. Rick and I saved $40,000 to get residency in Mexico and Portugal. We didn't need that much, but I didn't know. And so I like to be over prepared, right?
Yeah.
That money actually lasted for about 7 months after we moved to Lisbon, Portugal. And that's including our scouting trips, both to Mexico and getting our visa processes, and then the professionals that we paid to help us do that. All the little fees and all of that stuff that accrued. There is an application fee and all of that kind of stuff, right? So even the copies and getting the FBI background check, all of that stuff, we set aside $40,000. Now we probably only used about and the move and lugging our stuff here and shipping it here and all of that stuff too. Maybe 15, maybe about 15 is about what we. It's about what we used. All right, let's say hello to the folks who are in the chat right quick. And we love our community, right, CK?
Hey, CK.
It's Super Bowl Sunday.
It is Super Bowl Sunday.
So that's why ain't nobody here. And it's so interesting. First of all, I know the game hasn't started yet because it doesn't usually start until 6 o'clock or so. So this is the pre-game, pre-stuff, right? And maybe you have family over. And I hope that folks watch this in the replay, because what is concerning is when we get so caught up in pop culture that we forget that our country is in peril. And if you are somebody who wants to get out of harm's way, sometimes we ain't got time for stuff like that. We don't have time for stuff like that. Don't know who this person is. They probably need to be blocked. I don't do Super Bowl. Sorry about that, Denise. Sorry about that. I didn't know what this meant. And also, we are in our community. We respect each other and we don't get snarky with each other. So maybe that's not how you meant. It's always hard to tell in text, right? ABX girl, Super Bowl boycott, calm down. Puppy ball. Hey, Ballerina, I'm glad you checked in. EK Hill, Nicole Ross, Allison Rowe, good to see you. Kenneth Sutton is in the house. Shanora, happy Super Bowl Sunday, OBU fam. I just like to see the act that is in the middle. Halftime act.
Because here it's probably not going to be. It's going to be on like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah, so I'll be seeing the replays of the that and the commercials during halftime. Other than that, I'm not interested, right, Pinky? I'm just not interested. Hey, Action VJ, are you ready to move or not quite yet? Hit that like button if you are ready to hear the truth. And part of the idea for this came from Action VJ, who we got to hang out with while he was here. Hey, Karen Louise, good to see you. I'll be in SoCal. I will be in SoCal. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see anybody, but I'll let y'all know. Boitard OBU family. If you are in our Fire Over 50 Facebook group, I'll probably put it in there. If I have time to like break bread or something like that. Hey, Ailey, good to see you. Michelle is in the house. Greta Cobb, Vanessa, VR on the move. Maritime, good to see you. Tanya, Peggy, rider, skater, Maria. Hit that like button. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Avocado Queen. That's a new name. No. You recognize it? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, Diane. Bobby is in the house. Hey, Curtis. We love you all. We love you. We love you. All right, so let's get back to it. Number one was you're closed-minded, right?
You're not adventurous.
You know, folks who don't like doing things differently. Number two, you have no source of income if you leave. You have no source of income if you leave. If that's you, you should have been in our side hustle challenge. You should have been in our side hustle challenge. Get into our email list and you will be first to know when we do it again this summer. Number three.
If you don't know how to find or make friends.
Right. Or for that matter, if you can't just figure out how to do stuff on your own, right? If like the person who says, I'm 46 years old, where should I go? Like, if you're not a type of person who believes that everything is figure outable, then you're probably not the type of person who should leave their home country. Maybe not even leave their zip code. But you got to know how to Google stuff. You have to know how to use the apps, right? Every other country is so much more advanced than the United States when it comes to technology. And I don't have my phone, but the apps, you know, between navigating the city, navigating public transportation, using the translator. I was sitting next to this lady from Finland, and she keeps coming to Portugal like twice a year, but she can't say anything besides hello, goodbye, and thank you. She's like, I'm just going to use the translator. But she's not trying to move here, so it's whatever. But she's figured out a way, and she is 70 something. So it's not about age. It is not about age, right? All right. Number four. And this seems to be an issue with a lot of women. You cannot handle being away from family. You cannot handle being away from family.
Yeah, and you can't take them with you.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked to some folks who are bringing kids, bringing moms, bringing dads, you know, stuff like that, right? If you can do that, if they're willing, but there's always going to be somebody. So if you're into this big extended family, cousins and aunties and all of that stuff, there's always going to be people who are left back in your home country, just like I'm having to go to Los Angeles on an family emergency. You know, I though moved away from my family, you know, years ago to another state. And the way they acted, you would have thought we were living in Portugal then, because that's how often they came to visit, right? 25 years, my mom came to visit twice. And my father only came to visit more because he was a skier and we lived in Colorado. But he wasn't coming to visit me. He was coming to ski. And I'll drop by your house and we can have some dinner on my way up to the mountain.
He was coming to use the snow.
Right?
On borrow some of that snow. Some time on that snow.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. So, I say put on your own mask first. But if you're one of those people that you just cannot handle being away from your family, from your extended family, and the notion of not having those big, huge Christmas dinners with family, because we can have big, huge Christmas dinners here. We've had big, huge Thanksgiving or Friendsgiving dinners here, potluck with our new family. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything except for some of my bossy aunts and uncles trying to tell me what to do.
But that's also being willing to open up and get to know people too.
Right. So it goes back to making friends, right? All right. And then the last one, number 5.
If you're not willing to learn a new language. Now I know, I've been here for a minute. I'm willing to learn.
You're trying. You be practicing on your
I
own,
practice on my own,
not
and
diligently, but you do. So
I
you're
do, and
willing.
I'm yeah, and I'm going to start taking lessons again, so I get prepared to start taking the test.
Right, exactly. You have to pass a test here in order to get citizenship. We're gonna do a video about the why you should have more than one passport. But this is not that video. So you can always move to an English speaking country. The thing is that the majority of English speaking countries don't have a lower cost of living. So if one of the reasons for leaving the US is a lower cost of living, most English speaking countries are not going to have that, right?
Yeah, except maybe countries like South Africa and Nigeria.
Right, exactly. So if you're one of the ones who would like to move to the continent, wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I think, okay. I thought something got deleted from our notes. So if you're not one of those folks who wants to move to the continent, then you're probably not going to be in an English speaking country. Um, Now, enough people in Thailand spoke English,
Mhm.
but not like the Uber drivers and things like that, and not the people in the small shops. There, even when we went to get manicures and pedicures, like one lady in the shop spoke a little bit of English. Otherwise, we were using the translator app. That's what we were doing.
Mhm.
All right, let's see.
But what's funny too is a lot of times different places you go, because isn't English the national language for Thailand? One of those countries were,
I don't think it was. I don't think it was Thai. Was it Singapore?
or was it? It might have been Singapore. I know it was one of those countries we went to, and they said that was the language. English was the preferred language spoken.
One of the
But what I was going to
languages.
say was, you got a lot of people from a lot of different countries.
Yeah, yeah,
Uber drivers, tax cab drivers, service people that come from a lot of other different countries. Granted, a lot of them do know English.
yeah, yeah.
When you talk to them, they understand English better than they understand the local
The
language.
local
But
language. Yeah, they're like us. Especially Southeast Asians, they will know English before they'll know Portuguese a lot of times, and then some of them have been here so long. So you're coming, CK? Yay! She's coming to the meetup in June. Somebody said it's Tupac's birthday. Okay, I am trying to mark these questions. If you put a Q in front of it, that will make it easier. Because I can't read fast, and y'all don't want to sit here and watch us read all of the. Look, if you can find a sugar mama, if you can find a sugar daddy to help you get out of the country, because you don't know how you gonna make money, when you don't know where the income is coming in from, I ain't mad at you. I am not mad at you. I know Stephanie's always talking about where the rich men at. I need to marry a man with a yacht. All right. Greta, keep holding your breath on that one. Keep holding your breath. I can't. I like. First of all, the Black National Anthem is a religious song as well, right? It's a Christian song, and I could hear some people being up in arms about that. Even the white Christian nationalists, right?
they're supposed to be singing.
They're singing the Black National Anthem
I
tonight.
thought I read something.
All right.
Want to sing it?
Okay. I got to see this. I have to wait for the clips to come on YouTube. Okay. I love to be wrong about something like that. All right. You guys have a lot of questions in here. Okay. I'm trying to get them all, y'all. Trying to get them all. We've got quite a few people watching, so hopefully we've got about over 300 likes in there. This is the way that you can support our channel, by letting YouTube know that this is information that needs to be suggested to other folks. All right. Greta says, only focusing on leaving the BS and creating my digital product. Hell no, I'm not supporting the distraction of DEI game. All right, covered girl. by my means of getting my retirement plans together. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. The typos are such that I don't understand what you're saying. Rosemary, hola, I'm doing a 3-week scouting trip to Panama beginning March 2nd. Yay,
right.
Rosemary, congratulations. Thanks, Rick and Halisi, for the inspiration. You are so welcome. Thank you for the testimony. And we will definitely take credit. We will take credit. When people talk about, oh, y'all just leaving us and you ain't giving back to the community. This is how we give back to the community. We give back by showing you that there are options out there and how to get your money straight. So at least you have choices. We like for our people to have choices because for so long we didn't. And we were just on the hustle and grind, right, Michelle? I don't like, but people, right? Their entire existence is limited. It is deficit thinking. It's right. It really is. And it's not a good energy. I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I don't want to see pumpkin spice Palpatine. I guess you're talking about the melon felon. You can never go wrong over budgeting for any move. You're right, Pinky. Seriously. You don't want to be out in these international streets talking about where's the food bank.
No, you don't.
And we're not making this stuff up. We are not making this stuff up or asking about some Section 8 program that they may have. First of all, that ain't open to you. That is not open to you. That's for citizens. Just like Americans be talking all that yakety smackety about immigrants coming to the United States and taking up all of the social safety net dollars. The same is true in other countries. That stuff is not for us. It's for their citizens. How are the allergies in Lisbon, Portugal? It's been a brutal allergy year in America. The cost of real estate in France has actually become less expensive. Oh, that's good. Has Portugal's market gone up a lot? As far as buying a rider skater, when you say a lot, since when? Since we've been here, not really, not a lot. But we haven't been looking. We've just been kind of glancing. And then as far as rents go, rents have gone up since we got here. As y'all know, we have a 3-bedroom apartment and we pay $1,300 a month. And, it might be difficult to find a deal like that today. We're still paying the same amount we did when we first got here. So We're very, very blessed. And that's why I was like, let's sign. What did we sign? We signed a 3-year lease. Yeah. We signed a 3-year lease, and I might ask him to sign another lease before this one runs out. It'll depend on how our money is looking and if we are going to move. But shoot, just renewed my 3-year Mexico temporary residency. 2 more years for retirement. How long does it take to get Portugal residency? It depends. You could conceivably get it all done. In about 2 or 3 months. Unlike Mexican residency, Portuguese residency, you don't get your answer on the spot.
No.
So unless something's changed with Mexico, you get your answer on the spot and you leave the embassy or you leave the consulate with
your visa.
Yep.
And your passport.
Exactly. And so Portugal, they'll mail it to you or you leave your passport and then they ship your passport with the visa in it once you get a yes. So Portugal is a lot more tedious. You really have to want to move to Portugal because they put you through some hoops. But, was it worth it?
Yeah, it was. It definitely was worth it.
Okay. I think it was worth it too. So Black now, okay. I can't wait to hear that. Happy Kendrick Lamar Sunday. Oh, he's the halftime show. Yep. Okay. All right. Is source of income but no savings okay? Just go and save. Hey, cover girl. No. You need some savings. You need some savings. You need at least a few, okay, let's just say Mexico's the place, right? You can fly to Mexico inexpensively. You can get an Airbnb for less money per month than most apartments in the major cities in the States, right? And then, of course, electric is included, water is included, internet's included, sometimes cable is included, right, for that one price. So that's one way to know exactly how much your monthly nut is going to be as far as the basics. So if you've got a source of income and you do something like that, where you're not having to put down first and last month's rent plus a deposit and all that kind of stuff, then okay, but I still would have a thousand or two saved to cover girl, because what if something happens? And you're either putting it on a credit card and going into debt, because if you had the money, you would just pay the money. So that means you probably can't pay the credit card all off when you get your paycheck, right? So have a few $1,000s so that you don't have to go into debt. But if you can get that cost of living down, then that'll help you save, and pay off any debt that you have. Um, and we'll talk about nomadic versus moving in the second part. So everything is figure outable. That's right.
This is
Everything.
true.
If you say so, Greta, right? But if people say, if they're yeah, but people, right? And they want somebody to hold their hand for every single decision that they make, you're probably not a person that should move out of the country. You're probably not a person. I mean, it's different. You're like, we've got to be, together with the decisions we make. But like, you got to always, you don't know how to take an Uber. You don't know how you can't speak the language, so you can't take a taxi, right? And you're not going to get the app and figure out how to get around the city. Like, and we've had people say, I need you to hold, that's not what we do. We don't hold anybody's hand through this process, because even the immigration specialists, like we have the immigration specialists that we suggest for Costa Rica, Panama, and Portugal in the description below. They still can't hold your hand through the whole thing, in that you have to go. They can't get your bank statements, right? You have to get your bank statements. And if you have to figure out how to download them, if you don't get them, or you scan them and get them to them, and all of that stuff, like, I'm in my first final semester for a certificate program, but I feel in my spirit I need to leave the U.S. ASAP. Should I finish first and head to Thailand, or get out ASAP? That's up to you, Cosmic Curiosity. Can you finish it online? Right? What are you giving up if you don't complete it? Was this how you were supposed to make extra money? Like, we can't answer that question, but we can give you questions to think about. I'm not 50. I'm in my 20s. Oh, voice of Vasha, but can I still join the group? You can join the Fire Over 50 Facebook group. You have to be from the diaspora, but you don't have to be over 50. And the fact that you're thinking about this in your 20s. I wish our kid, anyway, good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Definitely.
Allison, what is really funny is that once my daughter realized that we're moving no matter what, she now wants to move with us. That part, right? See, and that's the thing. It's like, especially kids, they think that if they, dig in their heels, and we're like, oh, especially the moms, right? Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't go, because, I kind of want to be here when I get grandkids, and blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. There is no reason on God's green earth that we should stay in a country that makes us miserable. And if the people around us do not want to come with us, we have to save ourselves first. And then we can pave a way. And if they figure out they're miserable, then they at least see that it can be done.
Yes.
That it can be done, right? So I'm happy that you stuck to your guns, Allison. Glass half full. Good to see you. Have my appointment set to apply for temporary residency in Mexico. Yay, yay, yay. I am so happy for you. Positive energy. They will say yes. They will say yes. Alicia and Rick, I think that you two have inspired me to travel the world before settling down in one place. Okay. But I will frequent Portugal during my travels because I love it. What's not to love about Portugal? We were thinking about doing that. And had we not, if Portugal had not started changing things, making us say, uh-oh, they might change it to the point where we don't want to come or can't come. And the fact that you have to stay in country a certain amount of time while you are a temporary resident, we'd probably be traveling a lot more as well, because that was the original plan. That was definitely the original plan. So I'm not mad at you. Daily language practice, is it for me? Yeah. I need to communicate and pass the citizen test later. And Michelle, you're in Mexico, right? I like practicing. And look, I butcher Spanish, I butcher Portuguese. Here in Portugal, I speak Portugal. It's like a it's like a patois of Portuguese and Spanish, and I just apologize in advance. Like, look, I'm just now learning, and and then I go from there. And sometimes they'll just speak to me in English. I will always respond in Portuguese unless I totally do not know what to say. Then I'll say some of the sentence in Portuguese and some in English. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And as long as you're humble, like here, because I know they don't like you speaking Spanish here or assuming that they speak Spanish. As long as you're humble, I have never gotten an attitude ever, ever, ever. They look tickled and pleased that you're trying to learn. What is the fastest way to get citizenship in Portugal? Is to open a business and hire 10 people. That's the fastest way. Otherwise, if you don't have the money to open a business and hire 10 people, because that's all that is left, or you can take 250, I think $250,000 and donate it to like their symphony or something like that, or
But that's residency, isn't it?
that's citizenship.
Citizenship.
That's
Oh,
golden visa. Yeah, yep. So yeah, that's the fastest way to a passport, because you're going to get automatic permanent residency right there. So I still think it's 5 years later before they can get it, the passport, though.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah. So, but you can come and go. You can come and go when you have permanent residency. You don't have to be here for a certain amount of time. So you have to buy it. We're not one of those countries that you can just buy a passport off the bat. It's my intention to be there. All right, Greta. Yay. Yes, it will be so good to see you in person. All right, we are going to keep going. I don't know where we are in the questions. I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I'll just mark that one so I know where to go up from. Okay. Yeah, whatever you say it is, it is. True that. True that. All right. Let's go on. So 5 signs you could leave your home country. 5 signs you could leave your home country if you want. Number 1, if you're a curious person.
If you know you're the person that can figure stuff out without panicking.
Right? I mean, y'all, we had to look up how to use our appliances. It's in Celsius. I've had to like rework recipes and stuff in my head. First of all, a lot of the recipes in my head were for being at 5,000 feet in the air, and now we're at sea level. So there's that. Plus, it's in Celsius, it's not in Fahrenheit. Right? Turning on the dishwasher. And here, and maybe because of the humidity, when the dishwasher stops, it pops open. We heard that the first time in the middle of the night. Do you remember that? And jumped out of bed. What was that noise? What was that noise? So, yeah. You've got to be a curious person.
Yeah, you do. You do. Number 2.
If
you've got your money straight and you know where your income is coming from.
Yep. So you need to make sure your monthly income will cover you, and you should always have an emergency fund. Now, when we say your income should cover you, if you get our Move Abroad Toolkit or the Ready to Retire Toolkit, we have links to databases that will give you cost of living to every single city, well, every major city on the globe. And you can put in some other things too, like about tolerance, freedom, healthcare, and walkability, and all of that other stuff you can put in. But, you can start with that cost of living and then start putting in things from there. So, maybe even though you're making $6,000-$7,000 a month now, because once they take out taxes, it ain't that much. Then you're dealing with $60,000 or $70,000, right? That doesn't mean that's how much you need to live someplace else. So, for instance, our monthly nut, the rent, utilities, and cell phone, so not including, and transportation, but not not including Ubers, which we don't necessarily
Yes, both.
have to take because the public transportation system here in Lisbon, Portugal is amazing, right? Or food, does not include food, is about $1,500 a month. So that's rent, utilities, cell, and our Metro cards, about $1,500 a month. So we are able to live in Portugal off of $2,700 a month. And you can see there's enough left over for us to splurge, to save money for vacations, to travel up and down Portugal, etc. Maybe not travel first class, but we travel, right? We also do house sitting to create extra vacations
Right.
that are, over and above our budget and things like that.
Saves you from having to rent a
Exactly.
Airbnb.
But if you're doing something, you've been doing it for 20 years, 30 years, right? Like the average person who's watching us, then start consulting. You might only need 2 clients, 3 clients, 4 clients to cover your monthly nut in another country. So you need to make sure you know where your monthly income is going to come from. Maybe it's coming from dividends because you got it like that, right? Maybe you were smart and you have this big 401k or retirement account, brokerage account, you got it like that, and you're just living off of the savings. If you need to know that number, the number that you need, it is your annual expenses. So cost of living, your annual expenses, not your current income, but your future annual expenses times 25. When you've got that amount of money in your savings and investments account, especially your investment accounts, you can withdraw 3 to 4% of that per year and never run out of money for the most part. Historically, that has been true. So that's the number. Annual expenses times 25. So if you got it like that, if you smart and been saving unlike us, and then hey, you don't need to be bringing income in from anywhere else. You can quit before your pensions kick in and all of that stuff. So number three, sign that you are ready to move. You can qualify for a long-term visa somewhere else. That means financially. And for a lot of places, it basically means like a clean criminal record. And I say basically because like if you got caught with marijuana when you were 19 years old and now you're 45 or 50, the most places will say whatever, right?
Yeah. Or you could be a nomadic and have identified some countries that have easy or a tourist visa upon arrival.
Yeah. So if you want to be nomadic, like CK said, and you want to leave now, well, you don't necessarily have to qualify for a residency visa where they're going to check to make sure you have enough income to live there and not get on their social safety net. With an American visa today, most countries will let you in and give you a tourist visa upon arrival. And there's nothing that you necessarily have to do.
Right.
Now, the EU has put in place this kind of administrative costs that last for like 3 years.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah, it's like 15 euro, 18 euro, or something like that. So if you plan to come to the EU, you want to go online and see about that. It's not a visa. It's like administrative. To me, it's just an administrative thing, right? Because you fill it out, pay your 18 euro, and then you're good to go for like 3 years. So we don't have to do that because we have residency here in Portugal. So we can just travel around the EU without worrying about any of that stuff. See, so of course that leads us back to number 2. Now you must have a bit more money or income to travel in between countries. So, right, we said have income and have that emergency fund. If you decide you're going to be nomadic, it could be less expensive up front. It's not, and it could be less expensive on a regular basis, depending upon where you go. But the one thing that you must keep in mind is, most places will give you about 3 months upon arrival, some 6 months, some even a year, right? But you're basically going to be doing Airbnbs. A lot of places do not want to sign a lease for 3 months. They just don't. They just don't. So you're probably going to be doing Airbnbs, which sometimes can be more expensive. But again, your water's included, your utilities are included, your internet's included in that Airbnb price. So just make sure you have money for the flights when it's time to go, because you do not want to be overstaying these visas.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want to be overstaying these visas. So, all right. Number 4.
You figured out how to access the hair care, the healthcare system.
Yeah, some systems are so inexpensive, y'all, that you could just pay out of pocket. All right. But you still want, if you're going to be doing the nomadic thing, then you still want to have travel health insurance, because for those big events that could possibly happen, like a big car accident or something like that, that travel health insurance is going to come into play and make a big difference. Like if you have to be hospitalized. But if we're talking about just normal stuff, going to the doctor for a cold and stuff like that, in the United States, just to get an appointment without insurance is a few $100s. Everywhere else, it's less expensive. It's less expensive. And, you could get in and get everything for 100. And sometimes that includes your prescriptions and everything else, depending upon where you're at. Right. But if you are planning to get residency in another country, then we suggest that you get private health insurance, even if they have universal health care. Like Portugal has universal health care. Is part of the visa. You have to have private insurance. You just do. So folks on temporary visas have to have private insurance. We do get to access the public health system as well. And we can choose to only go to the public health system if we wanted to. But we still have to have private health insurance because that's what they
qualify.
Yep, that's how it is. So, and then the last one, number 5, you have to have a passport.
And it has to have at least 6 months of validity.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you leave, they won't. If it's less than 6 months, they won't even let you on a plane.
No, they won't. They won't. So it cannot expire within 6 months. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we have been hearing some horror stories about the State Department and what they're doing with these passports. We've heard about people getting denied because they're trans and stuff like that. And so, look, that's where they're starting. Where are they going to end up? So if you don't have a passport, even if you plan to stay, you might change your mind and you might not be able to get a passport. So if you're watching this, get your passport. Get your passport, right? It's not expensive, but it's not cheap. Last time for a brand new one, I think it's like $250, $300 or something. Last time I checked. I thought so. Renewals are less expensive.
No, but I'm saying, last time I got a passport. Wow, it was like
$175. Yeah, but that's a renewal. That's a renewal. So, last time I checked, it was a couple $100. So now I don't know if that included, if I was looking at that website, at the State Department website, or if it was a service. So if it's less expensive, y'all, let me know in the chat, because that was my understanding. Now I'm trying to mark these questions here. So just to recap, if you're a curious person and you can figure stuff out, you have the type of personality that can thrive moving abroad. Number 2.
If you got your money straight and you know where your income is coming from.
Number 3. If you qualify for the visa, right? One qualification is to have your damn passport. And for most places, you can't have a criminal record, or it has to be basically clean for the last 20 to 30 years. All right. Number 4.
You figured out how to access the healthcare system.
Yeah, that's so important. And then, of course, number 5, that you have a passport with at least more than 6 months of validity. Okay, cover girl, I see you corrected that. So I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl. I don't even know who's playing.
Kansas and Philadelphia. Kansas is in it. They're trying to get the 3-peat.
Stuart Heising. Hey. Oh my God. He is a childhood friend. I have known him since I was in 5th grade, y'all. 5th grade. And then we ended up working together in LA in the entertainment industry. It's good to see you in the chat. Okay. I think I got them all. Okay, it is Singapore.
Yes.
It is Singapore. Thank you, Nichelle. Thank you.
I know it was one of them.
Yeah, because we had read it, but I couldn't remember which one. And don't make me a liar, because I don't know. Other than Mexico, what other attractive residency programs are available without a lot of hassle? Um, Panama and Costa Rica seem to be pretty straightforward too, Axel. And Axel Foley, that's so funny. And we have the person that we suggest in the description below. EU is going to put you through a little bit more changes. And it's my understanding from all of the ones that we have checked out that there's no instant. And there might not be instant with Costa Rica or Panama either.
What was South Africa like?
I
I don't think it was too difficult
it
for
was
South Africa.
no, it wasn't too difficult for South Africa. I mean, most of them. Look, the hardest one is the United States. Let's just not get it twisted. The hardest country to immigrate to is the United States. Everywhere else, it is very straightforward. It's very straightforward. The hassle with Portugal is that they require the biggest hassle is that they require a 1-year lease before you even apply. Okay. So when you walk in the door to apply, you have to have a 1-year lease in your hand. So that's what makes Portugal more difficult. Having a bank account and having a tax ID number and everything like that, you can do that all online. Person can do that for you. That's no big deal. But paying for an apartment that you're not living in and you might get turned down, but you've already signed a 1-year lease, which means you are obligated to pay for at least 4 months. And you have to give so much notice and all that. That is what makes Portugal difficult. So, but if you qualify, you qualify. I've only heard of one person who qualified and got a no, and I think there was more to the story. Mrs. G, are you renting an Airbnb or do you rent an apartment via a realtor? So for if you've got temporary residency or long-term residency, like ours is 2 years, and then we're up for renewal this year in a few months, actually. And so when they renew it, it will be for 3 years. We have a traditional apartment lease. We're not doing the Airbnb route. It's just too expensive. We would be hard pressed to find this kind of apartment in this neighborhood for $1,300 a month, which included, the utilities and everything like that. I think we do have an Airbnb in this building.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right.
But usually they're supposed to mark the building.
They're supposed to mark the building, and they haven't, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to look it up on Airbnb and see what it's going for. So, but if you are doing the digital nomad thing, Airbnb, because unless you I want to say, is it Albania or Estonia? One of those places, and maybe even Georgia, have a 1-year tourist visa. And it's renewable. And so we did a video on where to travel around the world on a call center budget. In there, we list the easiest tourist visas, and the ones that have at least 3 months or more. Okay. And so some of them have a year. So in that case, yeah, I'd probably get a lease on an apartment if I knew I was going to be there for a whole year. For the Mexico residency via the regularization route, do you have to stay in the country for a full 180 days of the tourist visa?
In Mexico?
You know what? That's a Cartez question, High Vibe. I cannot remember. Yeah, that one where you, instead of qualifying via the money, you have to overstay your visa, but you had to have visited the country within the past 3 or 4 years or something like that. Cartez of Move Abroad and Thrive did a video on that, High Vibe. So after this, you probably want to go check that out. And it's like 10 or 15 minutes. And he tells about the workaround if you don't qualify income-wise. Sorry, interview in Atlanta at the Mexican consulate. Oh, yeah. Cool, Julius. I haven't heard of anybody going to the Atlanta one, so I'd be interested to know how that.
Yeah, let us know
how that turns out, because every consulate works a little bit differently. They do, and so we're rooting for you. We're rooting for you, Rider Skater. Thank you for answering our questions. Extremely helpful. Thanks. How are the allergies in Portugal and particularly Lisbon?
I haven't suffered heavy allergies here. I mean, light allergies.
Yeah, I mean, we come from Denver, and Denver is very dry. and they have these cottonwood trees or something like that, and they blow this cotton stuff every June.
Cottonwoods in Denver.
Yeah, every June, and it's just everywhere. Sometimes so much so in some neighborhoods where it looks like there's snow on the ground. So in comparison to that, it's great. Like my allergies have not been worse since I've been here, and I would say they're probably better. They're probably better, but I don't have extreme allergies either. But because there's more humidity here, so there's more mold here. Now we don't have mold inside of the house, but you see it on the side of the buildings for the buildings that are not power washed on a regular basis. So if that gets to you, then I suggest that you come here for a nice scouting trip. If you're thinking about moving here, come for a scouting trip and see how you feel. All right, so just answered that question. My rent is increasing on my Bay Area apartment to slightly less than $4,500 a month. Oh my gosh. But this is a temporary stay. When I retire, I'm out of here. And I'm honestly to move presently. I know you are $4,500 a month.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh. That's like twice our mortgage.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Sorry for the typos. Can just having my set monthly income and my exit ticket in hand be enough to exit now before May's airline changes? What airline changes and work on retirement while out?
Seasonal change? Pricing?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I want to know, are the airlines doing something stupid? I still stand by what we said before. You should have a few thousand at least, just in case. Halisi and Rick, I want to start the process to live in Portugal, and I want to bring my mom with me. Okay, Rose, she's retired and I'm not. Where should I start? By the way, you guys are inspirational.
I'm not sure where I should start.
It just says, where should I start? You start by contacting the people who are in the description below. Okay, Start Abroad is the people that we recommend. It's Zach and Anna, and get a list of what the requirements are. I think they have free consultations. We have the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit, which is very inexpensive, and everybody is on there, from the tax people, the residency people who will help you with your apartment, how to make friends here in Portugal, what the schooling is like, et cetera, the healthcare system, how that works. Everything that you need to know about Portugal is in the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit, and you can access the replays. There's a link in the description below. If you have $10,000 in Portugal and want to transfer more money, I know you have to file with the IRS. Is that taxed? No, Becca, it is not taxed. As long as it was already taxed, you might be taxed on any interest income that you make, right? Like if it's an interest-bearing account and your $10,000 grows to $10,050 or €50, then you'd be taxed on the €50. But no, you just have to file an FBAR, 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 and it's just to let America know, Uncle Sam know, that you have this money in this foreign account and you're not laundering it, and they can see the trend. Then they can go in and they can see the transfer, whatever they do. But it's not for tax reasons. It's not like you have to put it on your tax return. It's a separate thing, and you just say, yes, I had, and you file it every year. I've already filed ours for last year. You have to file it by April 15th. I'll be in Portugal for the month of June to celebrate my 60th. Right. Yay! I've already booked my Naki tour. Yes. Who wants to join me? I love it. So Naki does the African Lisbon tour. And for all of those folks who want to get in our comments talking about you moved to the place that started the slave trade and all this other nonsense, look, our second week here, we went on the African Lisbon tour. So we know exactly, not all of the history, but we definitely know enough of the history as it relates to African folks that were brought here against their will. Okay. We are very aware, just as we are very aware of what that looked like in the United States and what is still going on in the United States, which is what we call lethal racism. I say getting a second passport is the new marrying for money. I know that's right. I know that's right. The orange stain will be at the Super Bowl. So they may not sing it. We'll see. Oh, just looking at him just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I am adventurous and going through a divorce, age 64. Sorry about that, Kim. And have money put away. I'm a teacher and looking to teach abroad. So international schools are an option. We did a video about a year and a half ago, and the thumbnail says, leave America ASAP, how to leave ASAP, something like that. And the person that we had on there has been working in education systems around the world. And so she gives a lot of tips about how to get a job at the university level and at the K through 12 level. So if that's what you want to do, again, you don't have, you'll get paid in, like if it were Portugal, you get paid Portuguese wages, and Portuguese minimum wage is like $900. So teachers probably making 1,500 euro per month. So that's the only thing. Now, international schools probably pay more because they have tuition, right? And university professors probably get more, especially for the private schools, like the Christian university that teaches in English. They probably get paid more, but so be aware of that and be careful. Your other option is to teach English, especially business English, at some of these places, and that could possibly pay more. They love American accent before they like the English accent because it's easier to understand. No surprise there. They're singing it and they're up in arms about it. This is going to be interesting, and it's like a culture war is going on. I don't know why they're trying to fight our history. I don't know why they're trying to, it's just goofy. And for the people who think things are going to get better, look, I hope y'all are right.
I think
but I don't see how it can be when we have private citizens taking over the government and have access to the pay system, to Social Security checks and everything else. I don't see how it's getting better.
I think it's like Roland Martin's book says, white fear.
Yeah.
I see Stephanie.
I'm sorry?
I saw Stephanie.
Which Stephanie? Stephanie Perry?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, girl.
Right there.
Oh, hey, Stephanie. I always have to say hello to my mentors. Like we would not have gotten here as fast if it weren't for Stephanie Perry, Rashida Dow, and Adelia Borchade. We would not.
And she answered the question.
Is she in there answering questions?
About the Mexican.
Oh, good. Oh, really? Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, you have to overstay the tourist visa. That's what I thought. But you can cross the border by land and only get a 7-day visa to overstay. I'm doing that early March if no process change. Okay. I wish so. Exodus Summit went to Vietnam. I don't know if y'all are still there or what, but it would be very early in the morning, I'm assuming. Okay, I'm trying to mark the rest of these questions, and then we're gonna let y'all go so y'all can watch the Black National Anthem. And who's doing the halftime?
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar. And I couldn't tell you a song that he sings, y'all. I'm so lame. Do I know his songs?
Kind of a rapper singer.
Is he a rapper singer?
Mm-hmm.
I like rap.
He won like 5 Grammys.
Look.
Yeah,
I know all I don't know. I'm just lame. Okay, I'm just lame. And I remember when I was a certain age thinking, I'm never going to be like my mom. I'm never not going to know the latest songs and this, that, and the other, and talking all that yakety smackety. And here I am.
Here you are. What y'all listening to that stuff?
No, I like a lot of the new music. But it's just, I've just got other priorities. And so if I hear a song, I'll Shazam it and put it in my playlist. But oh, why isn't this marking? Okay, let's answer some of these questions. Sorry, y'all. All right, making friends is my challenge. I think I'm okay. I'm okay with mistakes. Mistakes are learning opportunities, right? Um, so CK, get in the groups, get in the Facebook groups, and then what you will find is there's WhatsApp groups, and when people say, hey, we're all going to go see such and such movie, join in. That's how we went to karaoke night when we got here. Like the second week we got here, we went to karaoke night, and the rest is history. We made friends with those people because it's easy when you're just sitting there, having drinks, people singing bad songs, et cetera, et cetera. And the thing about it was that was our scouting trip. We had to go to our interview, pack up, and come back, but we kept in contact via WhatsApp with at least 6 people. And so when we landed, we had friends. Do you have to take a test to live in Mexico? No, you don't, Mrs. G. It's easy peasy. You just have to qualify financially or go that other route where you're overstaying your visa. And I don't want to say anything wrong about that. So y'all have already given us the roadmap people need to just follow. Thank you, Tanya. Exactly. Rick, advice to not make decisions in fear keeps me grounded and at my own pace. Thank you, Rick. There are so many opportunities to panic and make panic-based decisions. We don't want to do that. And we panic because we don't have all of the information. Right. Like I remember when we first started this journey, and it was over the holidays in 2021. And Stephanie and Rashida had their Exodus Summit, and they had a Portugal module or session. And I bought the stuff and I couldn't access it. And then Rashida was like down at the South Pole or something like that. And Stephanie already said, look, I'm bad at checking emails, and I'm panicking because I'm looking on the site and I can't see that they have any
open dates
until the end of the year. And I'm like, oh shit, what are we going to do? Right? Panicking because I didn't have all of the information. So the more research you do and getting information, pay the money, talk to a specialist if you need to, that alleviates the panic. I love your quote. Don't let desperation be your motivation, right? We don't want y'all staying and then getting desperate and then not making good decisions, making decisions out of emotions as opposed to objectivity has to be in this. You got to have a list of needs and wants, right? So that when you're visiting places, because every place we go, we're like, ooh, I can live here. Ooh, I can live here. Ooh, I can live here, right? Because it's new, it's fresh, you're on vacation. Right? I can live here. But the bottom line is when you do a scouting trip, it's a lot different. It is a lot different. And so when we did our scouting trip here, we did do a couple of tours and some touristy stuff. We went to see the castles at Sintra and stuff like that. But for the most part, we tried to replicate what our everyday life would be like. We went to the pharmacy, we bought stuff, looked for hair care products, looked to see about barbers and things like that, right? Then, so you have your list of needs and then you have your list of wants. Most of your needs, if not all of your needs, need to be met, and a good chunk of your wants have to be met. And that way, if you have that list in advance, you don't fall in love with a city where deep down inside, you know that it's not going to meet your needs. And that doesn't mean the country won't meet your needs, but maybe just that city doesn't, right? So some people like to be in a quieter place, right next to the beach. Then it's not Lisbon. It's not Lisbon. We have water, but it's a bay, and you just have to go 10, 15 minutes down to get to the ocean. I don't want to live down there. I don't want to live down there.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Okay. I'm 60, lost my business due to COVID. Sorry about that, Laura. I own my own home, but want to leave it to my kids. I receive $2,000 a month for income. Ready to leave. Any suggestions? So we have done at least 2 to 3 other videos on best cities to live for $2,000 or less. So definitely check those out. And then also figure out what you're going to do with that house. Are you going to be a landlord?
Yeah.
How much can you rent it for? That could add to your income, unless the 2000 included your income, included what you could rent your house out for. Are you going to have a management company? How much are they going to take away? Or are you going to do it from wherever you are, et cetera, et cetera? So those are the things that you need to figure out, Laura.
Plus, depending on how old the kids are, if they're old enough to help you manage things with the house, be the landlord and
Yeah.
while you're gone,
Yeah.
since it's going to be theirs.
Exactly. So, and what would they need to do, right? Like, we're replacing an oven in one of our properties. So, it's just about the schedule. Like, you call, get the oven, get the make sure you make an appointment for when you can be there, son of mine, daughter of mine, and I will go ahead and pay for it online, right? Things like that. So those are the things you need to figure out. Get our Move Abroad Toolkit. Our Move Abroad Toolkit is in the description below. It goes through every single step that you need to get out of Dodge. All of the questions you need to be asking yourself, helps you come up with a plan, a budget, and all of that. Excuse me. I would love to bop around the world, but the global geopolitical landscape means that I need another citizenship. I don't know. What do y'all think? Nichelle, I'm with you. I like to be prepared. And we are, trying to figure out another place to have residency. Okay. We've got residency in Mexico. We've got residency in Portugal. We're looking at Panama, and maybe someplace on the continent as well. If we can find a place that doesn't require us to stay there, but to just check in. Because look, I don't know what these people are doing. I don't know what they're doing. And I just want to stay out of harm's way. Have you guys a good Christian church there? I can't wait to get there. Hey, Cassandra, we don't go to church, but a lot of our friends go to church and they like it. So
there's a lot of them. We have a very good friend. It's Wilfreda.
Yeah.
Is going to start doing.
Yeah. So he does a Bible study. So I would like to participate in that. But I don't like to get into church life. I did that. I did that for too long and it's painful. So, but yeah, there's one down south that's English speaking that supposedly has really, really good music. And then about 2 or 3 of our friends go to a church that's here in the city. So they're here. They're definitely here. I got my Mexican temporary residency last month. All Congratulations. Right. This was before January 20th. Now the political climate has changed. I'm so nervous to fly and land. I know I'm not going, but wanted your general opinion. I'm still going, but go, girl, go. The Mexican president, from what I've seen, she's on point. She is on point, and I would rather be there than in the United States. Now, I understand about the flying. I'm going to have to fly in too. Interestingly enough, I was not willing to take an American airline. I'm taking a foreign airline into the country, and I am not comfortable with the state of the FAA. I am not comfortable, but obviously there's more of a chance of getting into a car accident than a plane crash. But if it's my time, it's my time, and I can't operate out of fear. So, got to do what I got to do. ROC, I'm not 100% certain about making a complete move, but open to living in Portugal for a few months out of the year. Is there a special residency process for this? You would just be considered a tourist, ROC. So every 6 months, you could come here for 3 months. And that's how that works. Approximately how much money is required for the business plus 10 employees option? I believe that's about 125,000. Does that require presence in country? Well, yeah, kind of, because you need to get that business going and the employees going and stuff like that. But it's my understanding that gives you permanent residency, and then there's no requirement that you stay in country for the same amount of time that we have to stay in country. Okay, Michelle, you're stateside, preparing to move back to Bangkok for a bit. Okay.
Okay.
Long term, I'm deciding between Portugal and France, hence practicing both languages. See, people say I'm crazy to be learning Spanish and Portuguese at the same time, and you're learning Portuguese and French at the same time. I could see that. I could see that because the crazy pronunciation in French is kind of like the crazy pronunciation here in Portuguese. Spanish is so easy when it comes to pronunciation because what you see is what you get. Boss, age 9, and mommy source is headed to Panama. All right. I love it. Please send us positivity for protection and prosperity. Sending it your way. Absolutely. Absolutely. They have a thriving community down there. And so we had to Google appliances used while in Portugal too. I'm trying to tell y'all, if you are not willing to figure stuff out, if you are not willing to get out of your comfort zone, you need to stay behind at home. Because like in some ways, we were like back at being toddlers, trying to figure out these appliances and stuff. And look, here in Portugal, the majority of places don't have a dryer. So now I'm hanging laundry out like my grandmama did. Right?
This is ready to hang your laundry out.
Right. This is doing things differently. Now, we have a couple of friends that are saying, nah, I ain't about that life. And they found an apartment with a dryer. Of course, they're paying more money too. And it's like, for me, like that's money that we could be traveling with. I'll just hang this laundry out.
And there's plenty of laundromats.
There's laundromats, yeah, if it comes to that.
What is the lavandera?
Yeah. But I'm not doing that. I will just hang it out. And, we have a clean, and instead we have a cleaning lady coming every week, as opposed to paying more for rent to have a dryer. I'd rather have a cleaning lady come every week. So that's how I roll. But, to each his own. H&R, just be sure that this is something that you are willing to live with. Like if you want everything to be like it is in the United States, you need to stay your behind home. If you want everything to be like it is in Britain, you need to stay your behind home, right? Like Canada, you need to stay your behind at home, because it's not. Things operate differently in every single country. They have their own customs. They have their own bureaucracies, et cetera, et cetera. And, you got to be willing to go with the flow. Alicia and Rick, the budget that you two give us for your expenses, does that cover your USA combined expenses? I don't have any out-of-pocket expenses. We don't have any out-of-pocket expenses in the States anymore, because we've got renters and stuff like that. So no, that's a separate budget. To maintain our rental properties is a separate budget. So like, replacing the oven and things like that, that money was put aside before we moved. It was a maintenance. And so every time we, do rent, we include a little bit extra money to put aside for maintenance. So no, that does not. Our monthly nut here is no more than 2,700 euro per month. Okay. Or dollars. I'm sorry, dollars. Oi, from Brazil. Hola, Sandy. First time viewer. Good stuff, fam. Oh, right. Great. Thank you. And welcome to the Our Black Utopia.
Welcome.
Tudo bem? Do you know folks in Portugal who are in country for 8 months a year? That is possible option for me, but seems to be a long commitment. No, that's not how it goes, CK. So it is for the 2 years that you get originally. You get 2 years. You have to be in country at least 8 months out of those 2 years, or 6 months consecutively. Okay, so we go with the 8 months over a 2-year period. So 8 minus 24. Those other, what's that? 24 minus 4, 14? No. I should be able to do this in my head, y'all. 16 months. So we have to be here. We can be out of country 16 months out of a 2-year period. With Musk and his merry band of misfits, we still be able to get the background check. Yeah, he's taken over USAID, right? Or they closed USAID or whatever the hell they're doing, and he took over the money part. Background check is the FBI. Well, yeah, I think those kinds of things are so minimal. Plus, they need to be able to do that in the United States too, right? For different jobs and things like that need a security clearance. So I don't think that's going to be tampered with anytime soon. And they won't tamper with that until they stop letting people leave, if that ever happens. What are your thoughts, experience with saving money in other currencies and accounts like Wise? Hey, Monica, we were just talking about that in Beyond the Bling this Saturday, because we are looking at other places to open accounts. And actually, we did a video on, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, on places that, I think it was a Get Your Money Straight video, places that have great tax havens, that are safe, that have stable governments, et cetera, that will allow somebody who is a foreigner to have a bank account in that country.
Like a Swiss bank account.
Yeah, Switzerland, Malaysia is one of them. And there's others that were in the list. I can't remember them all right now, but we're definitely, of course, we've got money here in Portugal. We've got money in the United States. But we're definitely looking at transferring money into another bank account. I'm not as familiar with Wise, but I do know that they convert. So if you transfer money into Wise and then you ask them to convert it to euros, I suppose you could do that and just hold it in your Wise account as euros. The only thing about it is I always like our money making money, right? And I don't know if Wise have interest-bearing accounts. I hate money to just sit there and not make money, because the longer it sits there not making money, you actually have less money because inflation happens, right? FBI background check. So yeah, a lot of places will make folks go through an FBI background check, and you can get that done. Do it online, pay for it online, and then go to a USPS that's on their list and get your digital fingerprints. You'll get an email answer within 24 hours to 48 hours, and we got it in the mail within 7 days. Can we shift tourist visas to residency visas while there? Not in Portugal. Some places will let you do that. Some places you can apply in country, but not Portugal. Do those of us who are traveling to Portugal in June need that new EU visa thing? I believe so, TK, but I will double check. And if you're coming, I will, because it's supposed to be instantaneous, right? I will put something in one of the emails about that, all right? I think they had put it off. It was supposed to start at the beginning of last year, the beginning of 2024, and for some reason they put it off. And so I believe it is now in effect, and I will double check that and put it in an email for those who are coming for our meetup. June 16th and June 17th, there's going to be a Juneteenth celebration. There's going to be St. Anthony's Day, street festivals going on the week before, Pride, which is kind of like Carnival here. That's happening within that same time period. And so, yeah, if you want to come to Portugal and be able to have a lot of fun with folks who look like you, June is the time. Mm-hmm. June is the time. And so all that information is in the description below with the informal agenda and the formal agenda. Is Numbio cost of living fairly accurate? It was higher for Lisbon than I expected. Shanora, in Numbio, it's for people who live here, right? It's not for people who are visiting. So like our first year was more expensive than our second year. Why? Because we didn't know where to shop. You know, in America, you go to the big box stores. You don't go to the mom and pop stores. Here, it's just the opposite. If you want good prices, you've got to shop locally. You've got to shop with your neighbors. You know, if you buy apples at Continent, or you buy apples at Corte Inglés, that's going to be a lot more money than buying it from the fruiteria from the mom and pop. Right. Okay, where you can buy apples for something like 50 cents per pound. Nice organic apples, 50 cents per pound. So it took a while for us to learn things like that. They call it the expat tax because you just don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. And so, yeah. If you're same with the restaurants, right? Like if you eat in certain neighborhoods, you're going to be paying more because that's where the tourists are. But, you know, as I told y'all, we went for last holiday season, we went out, there was 11 of us, and the prices haven't changed at this restaurant. So I know it's still the case. There was 11 or 12 of us. Everybody had an entree. Some people had dessert, like 4 bottles of wine or champagne, 2 bottles of champagne, shots, and all of this stuff. And the bill was like $120, 120 euro. So, but if you're eating in the tourist areas, that same bill is going to be like 300. So, so what for Lisbon, I have found that it is pretty accurate. I think learned in Exodus ASAP that a nomadic option is more expensive than a move. Yeah. And obviously that depends, right? If you're going to be nomadic in Southeast Asia and you're comparing that to living in Lisbon or Paris, then maybe not, right? But if you're going to be nomadic around the whole globe, then yeah, it could definitely be. It could definitely be. I'm not 100% certain about moving full time, but open to living in Portugal. Okay, I think I did this. Is this a special residency considered? Yeah, we answered that. ETIAS is good for 5 years. Oh, 5 years. Okay, so that's that thing.
That's €7.
Last I checked, it will be €7. They were talking about 14 before. I remember last year they were talking about 14. The UK has their own version. Oh, I didn't know that, Pinky. That one is £10, which is about $13. I got that one last week and paid $13. Yeah, see, it's good for 2 years. All right. So at first, the ETIAS, I think it was always 5 years. I think it was always 5 years, but I know it was a double-digit price. So they must have gotten some pushback or something. I could have sworn I read that. Buenos noches. Hey, Serene, just got back over from the Canary Islands. Oh, wow. Could be potential future retired destination. All right, 4.5-hour flight from UK, a possible scouting trip. Okay. I thought I could do the island life, but now I know I'm not that girl. The Fed is changing the passport renewals back to birth names and gender, which prevents trans folks from leaving the country. Look, I got my name legally changed. They are not changing mine back to no birth name. Close to it and add your photo and express shipping costs if you want. I'm not sure what this is in reference to. ABX girl. Hey there. Thank you. Retirement coming up in 3 years or sooner, going to Thailand. Yes, they not like us. Kendrick Lamar. Okay, so that's one of his songs. Good luck in Thailand. I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. I really, really did. And I could, if it wasn't for the time and then summertime may be too hot for me. But to live there 3-4 months out of the year, something like that, we could definitely do that. Oh, yeah. We had a ball. And thank you for the super chatter, super sticker. We can't tell because we're using a third-party app. All of our super thanks, super chat money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom course for late bloomers. Information on that is in the description below. So we thank you, and the community thanks you, real bro.
Thank you.
Okay.
You read that.
Both expire when your passport expires, even if there's still time left on the authorization. Good to know, Pinky. Thank you. So that EU extra little thing that you've got to do. So if your passport expires in 2028, it expires in 2028, even though technically it would be good for 5 years. So interesting. Last one, I spent the whole weekend creating my Portuguese immigration binder to track everything from my move. Protect privacy. See, that's what you have to do. In 2.5 years, it got real. Thanks for the invaluable info. You are so, so welcome. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do, right? You've got to be that person who is willing to do the work. Okay, I'm not sure what this is in reference to, Ailey. You just got your what? And it costed $130 plus 51 at the post office. I know you're not talking about a background check. Or is that your passport? Oh, your passport. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know. Health insurance prices rising for travelers. I have not found that to be the case unless you're talking about traveling to the United States. So it wasn't more expensive per se for our Thailand trip. Okay, thank you guys for letting us know. 160 plus 35, 195 without expediting. Okay, so $200. Colombia is simple and low minimum income requirements, less than $1,000 per month. I remember that. And Colombia comes up in a lot of our best cities videos, y'all. So if you're thinking about, start with our best cities videos. We've done about 5 of them. And, and basically, the requirements haven't really changed that much. For residency in Mexico, do you know how many days a year you have to reside in the country? No days, baby. That's why we love Mexico. Keep in mind what on the State Department's websites may be updated with increased prices. Okay. Thank you, Greta. Thank you. Okay, it's Albania. That's 12 months. All right. Jazzy D, how many rooms do you have? 3. I'm trying to guesstimate how much a studio or small bedroom would cost. It depends on the neighborhood too, right?
Yeah.
Location. Okay, got you, A. Lee, about the passport prices. So am I, CK. And the mosquitoes can get bad here in the summertime. They can get bad. But they sell the spray here that's 50% DEET. So if you can tolerate that pretty much will do it. You can buy a mega mansion in Texas for about $4,500 a month, right? As opposed to renting in the Bay Area. I'm telling you, those prices, somebody's on some drugs or something. I have friends who just moved to Lumiere neighborhood 8 days ago. They're loving it so far. Oh, good. All right, y'all. We are gonna let you go. Oh, thank you. I'm a summer girl. You like my haircut? Look, I don't like to be messing with my hair. I don't. I watch, hit the like button, and sometimes add a comment to help the algorithm. Thank you, Action VJ. Thank you. We will not fly out of the US with their current down circus of FAA. We will rent a car and drive to Canada or fly over there. Planes are falling out of the sky here. Wait, have there been other ones, Allison? Besides the 2? Please say it ain't so, because Lord have mercy, I have got to go.
I know there was but it was a small plane.
Which part of Mexico is safest if migrants are fleeing to U.S.? I do plan to be near melanated people in Africa, though. Just wanted to know. Just stay away from the border states. Stay away from the border cities and stuff like that. So, folks love CDMX. Querétaro, of course, San Miguel de Allende, Merida, still, I think, the second safest city not in the United States, in all of North America. We know there's a community down in Tulum. What's that? In Puerto Vallarta, there's a lot of expats.
Starts with a G.
Guadalajara. Yeah. So Lake Chapala. All right. I think that's it. Oh, good. The consulate in Atlanta was very efficient. Okay, that's good to know. Make sure you have exactly what they require. Yes, they'll send you a list. I was missing a statement and they gave me 1.5 hours to get my missing month or reschedule. All right, well, at least we are in the midst of a coup. We are in the midst of a coup, y'all. We are in the midst of a coup. Malicious and Rick hit the nail right on the head. Full sweep airline changes, US aid. I need more details myself. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. All right, y'all. We are going to let you go so you can go watch this halftime show, or I guess the thing will be starting soon. The power is in pulling our dollars and energy away from them, right? Super Bowl culture wars. Look. Oh my gosh, I'm in Halisi. That's okay. You can't do autocorrect with Halisi. How long is a student visa? As long as your school. So if you're in a 2-year program, then it's 2 years. And yes, you can, here in Portugal, you can transfer a student visa and to a residency visa. All right. I'm glad it's not as expensive as I thought. I'm glad that it's not as expensive as I thought. I'm researching universities on the Western Hemisphere. Do you have any recommendations for who see no problem loving and teaching Black folks? No, because I'm not about these jobs. I'm not about these jobs. hope that folks will find a way not to trade their time for money. As I said, we
Right.
did do a video on it. It's like how to leave the United States ASAP, where we had somebody on who is from the education world and has helped, and she helps folks find jobs all around the globe in education. So I would watch that and get her information and give her a call. We like for folks to be making money while they sleep, which is why we do the side hustle challenge. We like folks to be in total control of their time and their calendar. Like the only time that is dedicated is this time right now where we're live with you, and every other Thursday for a half an hour while we're live with you. Other than that, our calendar is our own. And we can change it. We can cancel stuff. We can do, the days of clocking for dollars.
Yeah.
But if you need to do that for a while, though, we understand. And we did do a video. So CK, they're not like us. So that must be a Lamar song, Kendrick Lamar song. Stephanie has given me a whole new appreciation for slow travel. Yes. So she's talking about Stephanie Perry, pivoting from residency in Portugal to bopping around, basically same inn, just not tied to one place. Yeah, definitely. And if you like to house sit and you like pets, then you can do some of that and have free stays. I mean, we spent almost 3 weeks in Belgium, 3 weeks in Spain, and didn't have to pay for lodging. What do you love? What do you all love about Portugal? What causes it to have the home feel for you? All right, we will let this be the last question. So we started considering Portugal for a very objective reasons, and some friends of ours had done a video on why they chose Portugal over Spain. And so when we looked at it, it looked better on paper. So that was number one. Mm-hmm. So then we came over here. What was it for you, sweetheart?
Well, I mean, like we always say, you blend in.
We blend in. In. So, and that makes a difference for me, right? Like there are times when I'm on public transportation and people who look like us are in the majority, depending upon where I'm at, right? You don't feel the racism here like you feel it in the United States. So, I really haven't had a racist encounter. I haven't. No. And if I did, I didn't know what they was talking about. So now I don't understand the words coming out of your mouth, right? So, and so the relationship between folks of different skin color is much different. And you see it. So a perfect example that I give is I was on the bus, I don't know, a month ago or so. And a lady got on, a lady who presents as white got on with her stroller and a baby. And this Black kid was helping her on. When I say kid, teenager, was helping her on the bus carrying one half of her stroller. I assumed that they were together. They were not together. She went to where you put the strollers on the bus and he stayed up front and he was just playing his video game on his phone or doing whatever, or texting, who knows. He was doing something on his phone, not paying attention. When she went to get off, he looked up, he rushed over there, helped her off of the bus and got back on the bus and continued going. That is why we love Portugal. That was a perfect example of what the culture here in Portugal. And so
people will help. They'll go out of their way.
They're just kind people. We have yet to see a fist fight. And we live across the street from high school and a middle school. I've yet to see a loud argument between those kids. Like that got out of control, No,
I haven't seen it with the kids.
No. Nope. I've seen a couple with drunk men. But other than that, I mean, a couple. And it didn't go to blows, right? There's no guns here for the most part. So it's just there's the Karens, they're not policing you and trying to, public spaces are meant for public use. You can sit in the park all day long in the Beverly Hills of Lisbon and nobody's going to say boo to you.
No.
They're just not. So
they're enjoying the space.
Exactly. People just minding their own business. And the cops too, basically minding their own business. So between the fact that we blend in, the people are incredibly kind, and and it's a cosmopolitan city. I don't know. It just feels like home. So we will leave you with that. We want you to find a place. Moving abroad is not for everyone. It is not for everyone. So look and make sure that you are the type of person who can figure stuff out, right? That you got your money straight, that, you'll figure out a way to make friends, right? Even if you're not good at it, you'll figure out a way.
and you'll figure it out, because most of the time when you go places and you get into groups, you have like-minded people, and you see that everybody's looking out.
That's right.
Folks are looking out, so
That's right.
it's not difficult.
And we check in with each other.
Oh yeah,
we check in with each other. If we haven't seen somebody in a while, we'll text them and say, "Hey, what's up? You in town? Do you want to grab a bite?" Just checking, just thinking about you. And there are enough of us here that we're still meeting Black folks that speak English. I'm going to say speak English because sometimes they're from the islands, sometimes they're from Canada, whatever. They've been here for like a year and a half, and we've never met them. And so if we got all of the folks in these expat groups, Black expat groups, in one room, there'd be hundreds. There would be hundreds. So yeah. And with that, we're going to let you go. We will see you on Thursday. I think we'll see you on Thursday. I will be in the United States and he'll be here. So we love y'all, and we will let you go. Bye.